Hi folks, welcome once again to a Gaznab's teeny tiny video. Make sure I get some sound. Every now and again some things go in the trash at work this power supply, for instance, which I'll demonstrate there if you can see it. There you go. This power supply has been delivered or posted to a customer as used, and it's experienced a bit of a rough ride, and it's been dropped in the post or something like that. And because they've got a big heavy transformer in it, you quite often find that if they do get thrown around and they're gonna break, that it's normally the transformer that pulls itself from the chassis. Now this one has actually pulled itself from the chassis, actually deformed the steel sort of chassis itself, and actually then cracked the circuit board. So it's basically for any commercial business, it's an uneconomical repair. They will refund the customer, and that's it really. However, for me as a home brewer and a bit of a junk box sort of collector, as it were, there's some really valuable components in here that I absolutely would love, or potentially it could be repaired. So I'm going to go down the try and get it repaired route initially, because I can see that there is some damage here, that the PCB is cracked, and it's not in a good state, but it's too good to throw away. And I think with a little bit of ingenuity, I think I can actually recover it. So let's have a quick look. So what I'll do is I'll show you here what I think is the main issue, and you can just see there, look here, where the board's actually broken, but it's not actually taken the track out, not really badly anyway, and that can be reinforced and recovered. The only thing is I've got to somehow get this board out to actually do it. See if I can give you a bit more of a close-up of that. Let me just try this. Let it go. There you go. Yeah, there you go. So you might just be able to see just there. You can see that board. It's absolutely smashed along there. But it's not too bad anywhere else. I think it's doable. The other thing is as well, it's actually, if we pull this up, it's a heavy old beast, you can see kind of just how deformed that case is, and the actual, I don't know if you can actually see that, it's quite difficult against the black, but that is actually deformed the case. You can kind of see it makes an S sort of shape. Anyway, I'm going to give it a go and see if I can get it to function. So bear with. There you go. It's better. So hopefully I can get it to work. I think I can. If not, there's some just valuable components in there for me. For instance, there's a nice big transformer in there, a really good sort of rectifier, and there's a good little circuit in there that I can utilise. There's a really nice regulator in there as well, all on a heatsink panel. So I could potentially remake this board. If I was really feeling up to it, I could possibly reverse engineer the PCB layout, get a new PCB. That might be a nice little project. Not really sure, but yeah, it is a nice little thing. It's a real shame the meter's been cracked as well, and the front panel, I'm going to show you that. You can see it's had a real big, a good punch on the front. So I think actually this has actually been dropped on the front. That makes a bit of sense with the damage that has actually occurred. It's actually been just sort of, whole thing has been compressed. Big shame. Anyway, I'm going to have a quick look and see if I can see what I can uncover. Okay, so I've managed to get that out enough just to see what is occurring, and you can see that there is the bit that's broken. It's gone round in an arc. So I can show you that a little bit more. There you go. Yeah, it's gone round in a bit of an arc here. You can just sort of see the crack. Just goes around like that. But it ends at this point here. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to kind of just push this back. I might even just try to open it up and maybe push some super glue in the PCB and see if I can get it to get it to go back and stay back. So there you go. Let's put that back over there. This is kind of like one of those weird journeys of discovery. Just trying to work out what the best way forward is. I think probably the first step will be to remove it from this heavy lump. I think that's almost certainly the best thing to do next, and that way I can play with it a bit more. May not be able to do this whole video in one go. Might have to do a revisit, but because it is actually quite intrusive when you've got a camera. I've got a little camera here. I've got a camera which is facing me up there, and I've obviously got my phone which is attached to the A10 Mini. So let's see if we can get this. Let's get Mr. Iron on again. It's a well-made power supply, I'll give it that. I don't think it's a particularly high power supply. It's got to be, what, I reckon 5 or 6 amps. I would have said max. I think it's a CB power supply, to be honest. Now, it's always best to take a little video or snapshot of the wiring just before you take any of this stuff off. And the other thing is as well, when stuff like this has been around for a while, you might need just to re-wet the joints, just to transfer a little bit of heat from the tip of the iron. Come on, off you come. There's one. Trying to work as quickly as I can, not to damage the board anymore. Or it's a little devil, that one. Actually, so I've got my finger in the way there. Okay, whatever. It's going to come off one way or another. There you go. She's away. We'll clean them up in a minute. Let's get that one off there as well. It's going to go. Yep, just. So we can get that one to go. Yeah, it's going. There you go. Let's get that off. Okay, so what have we got now? And then I've got an on-off switch down there as well, which really needs to come off. What I might do is I might take it from here. From that one as well, and actually that one there is a bit of a dodgy connection anyway. Actually, I'm going to cheat that one. So I think that one's not a nice one. It's always best just to put a little bit of fresh solder on there, just to see where we're going. There you go. She's out. So now I can take that whole piece away, work on the board. I'll come back to that one in a moment. Right, now I think this has gone a bit funny, this camera, so let me just stop this. Okay, so we're back again. Every now and again OBS just has a moment where it goes all sort of jittery, and I don't know quite what that is. This is a solder sucker, by the way. It is really old and quite dodgy, really, because it's got this kind of horrible sort of ball that flies up, and the other thing is as well, it's got a bit of a hair trigger. You don't really need to, you know, you don't need to touch that particularly hard to make it set off. So let's have a little look and see what we're dealing with. Okay, so I think I can flood that with some super glue and actually and get that back to where it was. And there's actually a little trick you can do with super glue and baking powder. Baking powder, I think it's baking powder. It is baking powder, I'm sure. But the two of them work really well together, and they create this really hard sort of resin-like sort of substance. And if you use a dab of super glue, sprinkle on the powder, super glue, sprinkle on powder, you can recreate something that's completely missing, and it is that hard and that strong. It's really quite incredible. So what I'll do is that this, sometimes I could really do with one of those sonic cleaners, because this could do with a bit of a clean as well. So it would be quite nice to give that a clean. I'm not going to disconnect any more of the cables, I don't think. It's just not worth it. I'm going to try and operate on this as best I can in this position. It's not going to be easy, but I don't know if you can see that actually. Let me get this out. You can see this. Can you see the crack? Yeah, you can. So you can actually see what the damage has been in there. Now I don't think from this sort of side it's done any sort of real sort of damage across the front. There's a couple of marks on there, but I think they're sort of mainly stress marks, as it sort of like had a bit of abuse. Well, I'm going to give this a go and try and get this pulled back together again. And I'll try and video it as I go, but it's not so easy. Like I said, the cameras are really in the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a go, see what happens, and I'll be back probably with a part 2. I think that's probably the best way of doing it. I'll do part 2. Well, I won't keep you in suspense, let's put it that way. I'll let you know how it went. It's either going to become a usable power supply, or it's going to become parts in my junk bin. I'll let you know how it went, but I'll try and video it as I go as well. So this is what I've got on my workbench right at this precise moment. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.